down the high road to ruin. Watch out! Oh, here's Hyden,
your youngest son.
Does he come in anger and pain?
Cheated of his future bride?
For the verdict on your future bride. Are you in a rage against your father, child? Or are we still friends?
Father, yours. I trust your judgment. No marriage could outweigh this.
Good attitude. Good heart, good chest. A father needs a son to back him up. This is why men beget sons. To harm their enemies and honor their friends. Some children are useless, some are just trouble. And who would disagree? This makes people laugh at the father. Fact of life, I'll say to you now, I'll say it one time. Put yourself under a pleasure female, the pleasure goes cold soon enough. She's an open wound in your house and your life. She's an enemy. Spit her out. Let her go seduce some boy in hell. You know she disobeyed me. Publicly and flagrantly, alone, out of all the city. I will not be made a liar. I'll put her to death. Let her call on Zeus, God, kinship. Who cares? Should I nourish disorder within my own family? How then control those outside of it? A man who runs his household right can run a government. He's staunch in war, loyal in action on the other hand. Someone who thinks to flout the laws or give instructions to its rulers, him I do not praise. If a city sets up for a man to rule it, I say that man must be obeyed in small things and just things, and the opposite of these, anarchy. What great evil? Anarchy is what ruins cities and houses and battle plans. Obedience saves lives. Obedience must be defended. And never, never, never let ourselves be bested by a woman.
Well, that was all pretty plausible. Or so it seemed to me.
Father, the gods grow minds in men as the most precious equipment they have. Yet I could not, would not, do not know how to say you're wrong. Who knows? It might all turn out fine. Surely my job is to keep a close watch on what people do or say or want to complain about. Why your dread eye? Your displeasure. What people say, well, wouldn't want to hear the kinds of things they say. But I can listen from the shadows. This girl, through the town, there is grief. They call her wonderful, most glorious of deeds, most terrible of deaths. They say she only chose to keep her brother's body from raw, flesh-eating dogs to keep it from the birds. This sort of talk. From the shadows, nothing is more precious to me than your happiness, Father. For a son to be proud of his father, a father proud of his son. What could be better? But please don't be so absolutely single-minded. Whoever imagines he alone is the one who knows how to think or speak or feel, that man is an empty page. You've seen trees bend in a storm. That's how they save their branches. The stubborn ones get ripped out by the roots. In sailing, too, if you haul your sheets taut, you'll capsize the boat. Let go your anger. Father, give a bit. Amila. Yes. But I'm pretty sure of this. No single human being has perfect knowledge. Most of us will be wise now and then to take advice.
Well, King, he hit the nail on the head a few times there. You could learn something from him.
Me. My age.
You learn nothing unjust.
Nothing unjust. To honor anarchy.
I do not honor anarchy.
Is the girl not tainted with that malady?
The whole city of Thebes says otherwise.
Shall Thebes prescribe to me how I should rule?
Listen to yourself. You sound like a boy dictator.
Whom else should the government depend on?
No city belongs to a single man.
Surely a city belongs to its
Why
ruler.
not find a desert and rule all alone?
This fellow, it seems, is the woman's toy.
If you are the woman, it's you I care
Oh,
for.
shameless, thou utter miscreant, to prosecute thy own father.
Yes, but I see you doing wrong.
Wrong, you respect mine own prerogative.
You don't respect, you trample on the prerogatives of the
Oh,
gods.
polluted, oh, desert nature, oh, subject to a woman.
But not subject to injustice.
All thy words plead for her.
And for you, and for me, and the gods below.
Thou canst never marry her this side the grave.
Then she'll die and take another with her.
Doth thy boldness push thee even to threats?
Yes, what threats I merely point out your judgment is bad.
Thou shalt rue the day of thy witless teaching.
If you weren't my father, I'd say you'd lost your mind.
Thou woman's chatter, seek not to tickle.
You talk and never listen.
Sayest thou so well now? Well, now, I say. Thou shalt revile me thy cost. Fetch out the loathing thing. Let her die hard against her bridegroom now, this very instant before his
Never,
eyes.
no, never. I'm here, she will not die, and you'll not see my face again ever. Rage on, madman.
What is on?
Pain and rage.
A young man like that, who knows what he'll do?
Let him go. I have executions to perform. Two of you.
You need to kill both girls.
No. You're right, just the meddlesome one.
How will you do it?
I'll find her a desert in the neighborhood. I'll bury her alive with a bit of food, just enough to avoid the pollution. A sort of sacred technicality. No doubt, if she prays hard enough, the gods of death will save her life, or else she'll learn she picked the wrong gods.
Well, I'm beginning to have my doubts about the laws of the land.
I no longer can restrain a stream of tears when I see Antigone here passing to the room where we all go in the end. Look at me! People.
I go my last road. I see my last light. Look. Death, who gathers all of us into his cold, bent arms, in the end is gathering me, but I am still alive. No wedding. No wedding song, no wedding chamber, yet I shall lie as a bride in the river of death while I am still alive.
Oh, yes. But won't you win glory? Won't you be praised? It's not as if you're dying of disease or war.
You chose to leave autonomous, and so you died.
The only one of mortals to go down to death alive.
What about Niobe? I've heard that she has a living death inside a piece of rock, for a mountain grows over her like ivy, and the rain and snow run down her face. She is laid to bed like me by some divinity.
But Niobe was a god, born of gods. We are mortals, born of mortals.
And yet, what a great thing to share your story with divinity while you live and while you die.
Are you mockers of me? You grabbing old men, are you laughers at me, though I am not yet gone? Oh, springs of the rivers of Thebes. Oh, reaches of the plains of Thebes, bear me witness. No one sheds a tear for me as I go to my strange new grave. No one knows what kinds of laws they are that sentence me, nor what kind of tomb it is I go to. I am a strange, new kind of in-between thing, aren't I? Not at home with the dead, nor with the living.
You're too extreme. You reckless girl. You can't simply kick justice out of the way. And given your father's history, I'd say you're paying off his debts.
There you touch the deepest, bitterest place in me. Pity for my father. All that plowing in the dark and the brilliant house of Lobdicos gone down. Father, mother, son, it all went wrong. From what kind of badness was I born? Accursed, unwed, alien, foreign, strange. I am nowhere at home on this earth. I go to them now. A final family reunion. Oh, my brother, how you despoil me by your death.
Well, piety is nice, but authority is authority. You have in you some kind of absolute, exclusive, self-regarding rage. It has destroyed you.
Unwept. Unwed. Unloved. I go. The road is there before me. This light of day is not for my eyes
right up until they died. No one would ever stop. I have told you how to prison her and rock and leave her there to die or live as she sees fit. We are clean of this girl. Her privileges on earth are here revoked.
Oh, tomb. Oh, bridal chamber. Oh, house in the ground forever. I go to you now. I go to meet my people, now numbered among the dead. Father? Mother? Brother? Oh! I am the last and worst of you! Open your arms to me, dear ones. I buried you all, even you, Polynikes. I lifted and washed and made you lovely, and this is my reward. People ask, would I have done it for a husband or a child? I say no, I would not. People ask what law requires this. I say a husband or a child can be replaced, but who can grow me a new brother? This is the law I honor above everything. Freedom calls it criminal. He says I like to fondle strange and reckless things. Oh, beloved brother, he is taking me away. I never had a bridal bed. I never had a bridal song. I never had the love of children. I am alone on my insides and I go down to death, though I am still alive. What kind of justice is this? Why look to gods? Why hope for allies? They call my piety impiety. I say fine. If this is what the gods really do require, then I'll recognize my errors soon enough. But if these men here are the criminals, may they suffer exactly what they are doing to me.
Your soul is blowing up. Get a move on.
Next word is death.
Death! You have no way out.
Oh, thieves. Gods. Oh, look. I go. conjured in a womb of rock, where he came to know the god intimately, and the strange mad flower of his mind dripped in the dark. A strange, terrible, cloud-like hand, wondrous, monstrous, marvelous, dreadful, awful, weird power. Third example, the woman who blinded herself to the shuttlecock, and the blood ran down her hands. Ruin ran down.
Now it is true she was born of warriors, and could outlace the wind. But fate came down hard on her too in the end. Fate
Whatever it is, some sort of God comes down on everyone in the end.
Hey, you kings of Thebes, we have come. Two people seeing as one. It is the blind man's way.
What's up, Tiresias?
I'll tell you, and you must do what the seer says.
I followed your advice before.
And so you kept the city going straight.
Indeed, I owe you much.
You are standing on a razor's edge.
What? Why? I feel suddenly cold.
Listen, then. Listen, and hear. I'm sitting in the place I always sit, a sanctuary for every kind of bird. I'm listening to their voices, and it all sounds wrong, wild and weird like monsters, tearing at each other with their talons, thrashing at each other with their wings. A fear comes into me. I turn to the altar, but the fires won't light. The embers sputter. The fat slides off the bones. The boy described it all to me. He is my guide as I am guide for others. Now you know, Creon, the failing of the signs is in itself a sign. And surely these signs failed. And surely the cause is you. You bring the sickness on this city. You gave that body to the birds and dogs so that our hearts and altars are defiled. Of course the gods have turned away from us. Of course the birds are shrieking unintelligible things. Their mouths are gorged with guts and blood. My child, take heed. To err is human, but to persist in error is imprudent, unlucky, and just stupid. Yield, Creon. That pile of rot that was the son of Oedipus. The boy is dead! Stop killing him! I mean you well. I give you good advice. Take it.
You're a nice old man. But all you seers are just mediocre marksmen firing your arrows at a man like me. I've been the victim of your art of prophecy before. Been bought and sold and trafficked by your tribe, so fine, run your scam, take your profit. You will not lay that body in the grave, not even if the very eagles of Zeus decide to carry bits of its flesh up to the throne of God. Let me repeat, you will not log that body in the grave. No, I don't fear pollution. Human beings cannot pollute the gods. I know this for a fact. But human beings are susceptible, aren't they, dear old Tiresias, to the profit motive, especially the clever ones?
Alas! Isn't anyone listening? Doesn't anyone get it?
Get what?
Good judgment! Good judgment. Nothing is more important.
Well, yes, and bad judgment can do great harm.
You are rotten with it, Creon. You are full of this disease.
I'm in no mood to trade sarcasms with a seer.
And yet you denounce my profession.
Your profession, that bunch of entrepreneurs.
While you tyrants grab anything you want without shame.
Don't you realize you're talking to your king?
Oh. Oh, I do. Who put you in this kingship? Who helped you save the
prophet or not, you're dangerously fond of injustice.
You will provoke me to say things I keep in the dark of my heart.
Oh, say them. Forget prophet.
Do you really think I've been profiting up to now?
Just recognize you cannot buy my mind.
Well then, recognize this, Creon.
Not many revolutions of the sun from this day. You shall have paid the price. A corpse for another corpse. For you housed a living soul underneath the ground below, and held a dead man here without his grave or his rights. It is so wrong. It is so wrong. The dead do not belong to you, nor to the gods above. You violate these rules. There are avengers lying in wait for you now. Watch out. Watch out, I say, and think again whether I am someone who's been paid to say this. Not long now. There will be wailing of men and wailing of women. There will be tumult of cities and hatred against you. Birds and dogs and body parts and stench. You can't do that. These are the arrows I loose against you. Like an archer, yes, because you grieve me, because I am angry, and my arrows fly true. You will not escape their heat.
Take me home. He can vent his rage on younger men and find a better tongue, a gentler attitude.
Well, that was harsh. But I've been around a long time. I have to say, historically, his prophecies have never been wrong.
I know. Shaking. On the one hand, to give in now would be terrible. Equally terrible, of course, to stand fast and be ruined.
Take advice.
Tell me,
Set the girl free, bury the boy.
you really mean this? I should just give in?
Quick, quick, quick.
Go yourself. Go now.
I go. Take up your axes, one and all. Make for the high ground over there. I changed my mind about this girl. It was I who imprisoned her, and I shall set her free. I now suspect we must live our lives right to the end, in accordance with the old established laws.
Master
is no stanza of human life that I can praise or blame. Luck lifts a person up or knocks a person down at any given moment. Fortunate, unfortunate. No seer can see what's next. Creon, I once thought, was an enviable man, for he saved this land of Cadmus from its enemies. He got his hands on monarchy. He sailed it straight, and furrows of children flourished around him. Now all that's gone. When joy betrays you, I do not count your life alive. A corpse is more alive. Be as rich as you like. Be a despot absolute. If your happiness goes, I wouldn't buy you for a shadow of smoke.
You're the messenger. What's your message?
They're dead.
Who's dead?
Hymen's dead.
By whose hand?
A hand very like his own, for rated his father.
Okay, Tiresias, you won that round.
Days not over.
You're right.
Here's Eurydice, wife of Creon.
What's she up to?
Oh, people, did I overhear something? I was just going out. I was just at the door. I was going to offer prayers to Athena, just opening the door, and I thought I heard something. A voice like sorrow. And I fell back. I fainted. I was struck with fear. Whatever the news is, do tell me. Sorrow and I are not strangers.
Oh, beloved queen. I was there. I will speak. I'll leave nothing out. Why soften the tale and be called a liar later? I went with your husband as guide to the edge of the plain where it lay. The dog-torn parts, the parts of him, Polynices. We prayed the gods to hold back their anger. We washed him and burned him on fresh-cut branches. We piled high a mound, and we left to go to the tomb of the girl, the bride of dead. And we're still a ways off when we hear a scream from that unholy place. Someone comes running, but Creon won't stop. The scream is all around us now. He quickens and lets out a cry to pierce your heart.
Oh no! Oh no!
He says,
Am I the prophet now? Could there be a road darker than this road? I'm on, is it my own son? I hear crying out, go quicker, you people, drag the rocks back and go in. Do the gods deceive me, or is that Hymen's voice I hear?
poor hopeless king. So we do as he says, and against the back wall we see her, hung by the neck on a strand of silk. The boy flings himself on her body, wailing. Creon sees him, runs in with a cry.
Hold your tongue, what have you done? Are you mad? Are you lost? Child, come away. Come out, I beg you.
Then the boy, with eyes like murder, spat in his father's face. He said not a word, but drew his sword and lunged. Creon ran out. The boy missed. Then, in a black rage at himself, he tensed his body for the sword and drove it all the way up to the road. Poor boy was still alive. He folded himself around the girl and breathed a thread of red blood onto her pale cheek. So he lay, a corpse on a corpse, and his bridal consummation was in the house of dead.
What does this teach us? Bad judgment. Bad judgment is the worst thing in the world a man can have.
What do you make of that? She left without a word.
I too am surprised. But I nourished the hope that she felt it unsuitable to grieve in public. I went inside to set the women wailing for the sorrow of the house. She's a sensitive person.
Maybe so.
Maybe so. But it's a very heavy silence.
I don't like heavy silence.
I'll go in and see. You're right. It's too heavy a silence.
It's too heavy a silence. It's too heavy a silence.
Here comes Creon.
Dragon kiss.
What?
No one else did this.
He did this.
Here's what I did. It was my hard, killing mind, my deadly goings wrong. Look! The murdered and the murderers are all one family. Oh, my child, too soon gone. Oh, this sacrilege that I called public policy. My child! This child. Alas, the child murdered by my folly.
You're late to learn what's right, aren't you?
Late to learn. Oh, yes, I am late. Too late! Oh, then! Oh, then! Some God has slammed down on me with all his weight. Some God shook me out in savage direction. Alas, for the joy of my life that I trampled underfoot. Alas, for us all going dark.
Oh, King, you have evils in hand. You have evils in store. Soon you will see grief in the house.
What now? What worse?
Your wife is dead. The mother of this one. Her wounds are recent.
Oh, filth of death. Who can clean you out? Oh, piling up of death. Who can reckon you? You take a man already broken and grind him to dust. Come, messenger. Tell me your news. The woman, the blood, the boy.
See for yourself. She is here.
my son in my arms, my wife laid out before me, my beloved.
Before the end, before undoing her eyes to the dark, she called out one last time on this boy. And she cursed you. Assassin of your own child, she said.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course she did. The horror of it crawls all over me. Will someone strike Creon dead now that I am utterly blended with pain?
She blamed you for all of it.
And then what?
Stabbed herself in the liver.
Yes. Oh, dear. Yes. No one else is to blame. I murdered you. I murdered you, oh dear one. I did. Someone take Creon away. He no more exists than someone who does not exist.
Best to be brief, when evil is all around your feet.
Then let it come! Let it come! Let my end come. I cannot bear to look upon another day of life.
That is the future. This is the present. You live in the present.
To die is my only prayer.
Then don't pray at all.
You
You
don't,
don't get to run this.
Take Creon away. Please. Take Creon away. I murdered you both. My beloved's never intending to. Where can I look? Where can I turn? Everything I touch goes wrong. A fate no one could bear has plunged down on me.
First rule of a happy life.
Wisdom.
The second rule,
Don't work against the gods.
you big men with your big words.
Pay a big price for that.
But in the end,
You will learn